interrupt this programme to bring you a breaking news story. In a continuing effort to improve customer satisfaction, residents in Westminster have been asked to comment on how they think City West Homes is performing. Let us join our reporters in Westminster to see what's being said.
I walked around the estate the other day, but I hadn't done it for years, and almost down by the canal, and I was amazed at the gardens, how beautiful they were, and the whole place looked spick and span. And that was lovely to see, comparing what it was about in the 70s. And it is, they do their best and they do a good job.
I just want to say about City West Homes, their response time. I think the response time is very, very appalling, especially on that phones inside the office with the repairs thing. If you make a complaint about repairs and it's not a 00 job or a normal job, you always have to wait 2-3 days for the job to get raised. I think this is very, very bad.
City West Homes is good, but the bad thing about it is that there's teenagers that come into our block and they do bad stuff, like throw things from upstairs.
Always found quite helpful in the office. I'm a little bit disappointed with the repair section of it because I have been asking for a door for quite a while, but that's not the problem because I understand I have to measure things like that. Everything has to be done properly. Now, personally, I don't have any problems at all. Man, I mean, I've lived there all my life. I've seen it change all the way through the seasons, shall we say, and I've got absolutely no problems with living here at all.
Well, on the whole, you're pretty good, I think. You respond pretty quickly when I come in and get on the telephone. They seem to respond pretty well. Better, you could go and look at the front gardens around this place. Some of them look dreadful. And as I was just saying to somebody else, with that goes having a garden in central London is a great privilege. Very few people have it. People pay fortunes to have a garden. But with that privilege goes a responsibility.
So Brendan, tell us what you think of today's day of action on your estate.
Well, today it's been good for the community, but as I say, it's not really going to make much of a difference. It's a coat of paint. It's not really what the neighbourhood needs. It's what that neighbourhood needs is proper facilities for the kids. You know, the football pitch open, more activity around for the kids. There's, like, they're gonna plan. Yeah, do you want to take a walk up here and we'll have a look at this ridiculous thing they have for kids, which is I don't think it's suitable for kids anyway. Not above 1 year old. You know, this is just ridiculous. Let's have a look at what they have for. This went in about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, and it's nothing. It's, well, as we'll see now when we take a walk up here. What's mine just stepped on? This is what they call a play area for kids. This is what they call the play area for kids. What kids are going to play on this? Look, it's this. I know the cleaners have work to do, and they're still working today, and we've made a bit of a mess. But that's not for kids. What? I'd like to see a proper set of swings in there or something for the kids. This area tidied up. The inside of the wall should be painted. Like, that's where the kids are going to be. The outside doesn't make a difference. It doesn't really make a difference.
The next job we're going to do is the inside.
Yeah, okay, I just didn't know yet. This is day one. Yeah. Oh, well, that has to come out. I'm sure you'll agree with me. That's just a waste of space and time.
Yeah,
and the same over here, in the fair area.
What do you think of this play area here with helping the kids play?
Honestly, that's just ridiculous. Okay, this man's came, he's given us time. He's given us time and the kids are having a bit of fun. But I'm sure the kids would like to be playing on swings. Yeah, I'm sure they'd like to have access to their football pitch downstairs. That's now open today for our event, but it's not open the other 6-7 days a week. Okay. You know, it's nothing. And all we've got in this area over here is dogfell, and it's only from 2 dogs in the area, which the council have done nothing about. We do know who they are. Number 7 Mundell House and 1 in Lee House.
Yeah, right, we're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Show me like the resident.
See, now that's the lady that owns the dog. That's why she's having a kick. That's why she's having a kick. You know, it's just ridiculous. But this is.
Hey, Spider-Man looks good, eh?
This is okay. It's good for the kids. But I don't know what else you can do. This area over here could be made better for the kids as well. Okay, it's a seating area for the elderly people. But no.
I think I should have sand.
We should have what, sorry?
Like a sand area.
Yeah, a sand area would be too much.
Just come and talk to us.
No, it's not going to go on TV.
Just come and talk.
Come on.
I think there should be a sand area, and like when there's a sand area, people like to play more. And this place is said that
Space
to be
is wasted.
It's wasted. Like rather there could be more homes, or it could be a play area, because like it's just got wasted. Not all you do is just walk. Okay, I need to go.
Okay, thank you. Right, then, thank you very much for your
Yeah,
time.
that's no problem, man.
And hopefully we'll talk to you again about this.
I think this has been a wonderful event, and it's a collaboration between City West Homes and the London Business School, who've been long-standing supporters of Church Street. And I think that the really most useful bit is that the residents who've been involved have come up with all sorts of ideas of what they want done carrying on from this, and we're going to be talking to them about, for example, play activities down in the football pitch, how to manage them, what sort of youngsters should go there, and a real sort of dialogue has started as a result of you having organised this event.
I chose to buy this flat because firstly the schools that my children used to go to were very near, and like the place because all the necessities of the life, like superstores and the market and everything else, and the tube station and the bus stops, they're all near around this Lisson Green. My eldest daughter is who's there. She's a GP in Kettering, and be moving to Dumfries soon because husband is a ENT consultant there. She was brought up here in this Lisson Green estate, and she went to St Marylebone School. From there she went on to do her medical degree and then became the doctor. As a lessee, we are not entitled to so many things that the tenants, council tenants, are entitled to. But still, I feel that the area should be more clean. The corridors, lighting, lifts, they should be given more attention. They're not so bad now for the past few weeks, but sometimes when the drains are blocked, that's the main problem of the whole of the estate, tenants and residents alike. When those guttering, when it rains, the gutterings are blocked, and the water comes up from the drains on each floor, and that's how the flooding happens in some of the flats. And it takes 4 to 5 days for somebody to come and clear the drains. I think that we should have a little bit more priority than the council tenants. In respect of if we go and complain that the drain is blocked and there's smelling, the water is all over the place, and it's not. First of all, the answer we get, the question we get is, are you a lessee or the council tenant? If we are lessee, we should deal with the problem ourselves. That's what we get. Another thing is, if there is any water penetration from the flat above, we are told to go and deal with the matter, a person who's living there. If the person who's living in the flat where the water is coming from, we have to deal with it among ourselves. Sometimes we don't know the people. Sometimes the people are a bit aggressive. You don't want to go in the middle of the night if you have got the water coming from upstairs flat, and wake the person up. And what if he is nasty to you, and you don't know the person? I think administration and the supervision charges that we pay to the council, that issue should be resolved with by the council. Handles of these windows, because in summer you do have to open the windows and close them when it rains. In the kitchen you're opening the window all the time, and after a couple of months handles are just hanging there. These handles, council knows about it, estate office knows about it. In my flat, the handle's been at least changed 4 times. And I think it's the waste of the money to keep on changing these handles, because when I know that it comes in the structure of the building or the flat, but every 2, 3, 4 months, if the handle needs changing, then I think it is the waste of the money. There should be some other solution to it, or the different handles maybe. City West Home does well compared to past managements. Place is more cleaner. The cleaners who are responsible for cleanliness of the estate are more efficient than before, and they do their job best. And City West Home is doing a very good job, actually.
Can I ask how you ended up in temporary accommodation?
Because my husband lost our property.
How did that happen?
Because he didn't pay what he should have paid, and I never found out about it until it was too late, so I was evicted. And then I went and lived in a hotel in Leabridge Road, and I was there for 6 months. But Westminster didn't stop writing to me in that hotel in Leabridge Road, and I couldn't believe that they were behind me all the way, because I was in St Thomas's for 4 months with my legs, and when I came out there I had to go to Westminster for the homeless pay. When you're like in temporary, you're in a hotel, I just thought, this is it, this is the end. But then when I came out of hospital and went up to the office, and the lady there and the man, they were, don't you worry, they said, you won't be out now you've come out of hospital. And straight away they put me in that hotel. So when I hear people running down Westminster, I'm so grateful. I really am. And I mean what I've said here this afternoon, I mean sincerely. I really do. I'm the happiest person on this earth. I've got no problems, no worries. And when you've got a manager like Chris, if you've got something wrong with your flat, you tell her, she takes it off your shoulders, and before you know where you are, you've got the workmen coming. And by God, when they come, and then a little while later you get a form to say, what do you think about the contractors and all this? And you think that is what Westminster's all about. They don't just send workmen to do it, they want to know afterwards what you thought about them and the work. And I'm not lying, I'll go up and get it if you like. I had a letter from them Tuesday to say that when they do the bathroom, which is going to be done, will I fill in the back of the form what the contracts was like and everything else. And I think, my God, they're so in advance, because I've not had a letter yet from the contractors, and when they send it, well, I'll be happy. But Westminster have already wrote and asked me, when it's done, will I fill in the form, what I thought of the contractors. So, you know what I mean, Westminster, I don't care what anyone says, they're up high, and I couldn't thank them enough for what they've done for me. I'm very happy with what I've got and what's in my flat. And a few months ago I had a gentleman come from City West to have a look at the kitchen and the bathroom. But in my eyes, I think I'm very lucky what I've got in the flat. And when I got a letter a little while ago to say that they were going to get I could have one room done, and they wanted to know what I wanted done, and I said the bathroom. And then I got a letter back to say that the contractors will be with you and they'll drop you a line. Now to me, I think that is very good. You're an old person and naturally you think, oh yeah, this could be done, that could be done. But when that letter come through to say, because of your age, and to me, they don't need to say that do these things for you, but I find that they do look after the elderly people. And I always remember what my council officer said, and this is the truth what she said. She's not here anymore, but she said to me, Mrs. Coates, I'm going to say this to you, when we was in the flat, she said, Cheggers House is the best flats you could be in. And she said, you'll find that out as you go along. And her words came true. And when someone says that to you, you think, oh, we'll see. But honest to God, her words did come true, because I couldn't have a better flat than I've got. And the landings, they're so peaceful, so quiet. And if you see anyone, they say hello and goodbye. And you know, I'm very, very happy here. And I couldn't be any happier. And I couldn't, as I say, I'm very grateful. I've lived here 5 years, but even sometimes I come home, I have to pinch myself to say, no, it's yours for good. And that's how happy I am here.
Now we return to our developing story about City West Homes with more comments from the community.
With regard to the council services I get at home, I mean, what can I say? Bad thing about it, I just can't. I can't fault it. Anything that I need with regard to me, and this is me that I'm speaking, it's been perfected. It's even got better than it was before.
The powers that be that are actually up in Victoria there don't get out enough to know what the actual people on the ground thinking or what they want doing, because they're wasting so much of our money on different projects, i.e. they're thinking about pulling down Penthouse or doing something with it after all the millions they've spent on it, refurbishing it, which doesn't make sense. Plus the fact that of all the empty properties we've got, quite a few on the estate, which we now have squatters because they've not done anything about getting them filled with tenants. Doesn't make sense, does it? The estate office, yeah, I'd say is good, because they do listen to us. They do try and do things when we ask them to. I mean, the repairs team I've found are pretty good. On the whole, the estate office is good. Yes, it's a pity that Westminster up at Victoria weren't as good, to be honest, because they're not on the ground. You see, the estate office, they go around mostly anyway and look, and they do block inspections, they do estate inspections, so that way, you know, things get done mostly. I mean, not everything, but on the whole, and I think most people who live on Lisson Green especially would appreciate that. I think rehousing, definitely, overcrowding, things like that is what City West could improve on, definitely. They're sending people that have lived local for years and years and years, born here in a lot of cases, sending them outside the borough and bringing new people in. That doesn't make sense. Not to me anyway, so, you know, that's what they can improve on a lot. I think some of the maybe cleaning of bits on the estate as a whole could perhaps be improved on a bit, because there's still a lot of litter lying about. You know, on the whole, I don't find it too bad.
City West Home had been doing a nice and good job, even to the community. They always give us social gatherings every summer as well. They always give us grants to the community, whatever group they are. And I will not mention whatever group I am, but still we know that they give some grants to them. And that is all for the community. And we are happy and thankful for them as the one who is looking after our estate.
In 3 words, I'd say it's brilliant, fantastic and beautiful.
How do you feel the major works went that we've just carried out at Alpha House?
I'm really impressed. From the word go, we had a meeting with the Westminster Council representatives Apollo were present. Everything that we've asked for has been addressed. Apollo have been brilliant. I think they've emailed us, they've phoned us every time there's a decision to be made. And I'm just very, very happy with the way everything's gone and the quality of the work.
Well, I think we were kept reasonably informed about when certain operations were going to take place, and they did take place pretty well on schedule. The quality of the fittings was quite satisfactory, in fact very good, I would say. One or two mistakes were made, like we did agree that the paint was going to be matte, and gloss paint was used. We did have to do a lot of research where it was claimed that certain products were not available, but a brief look on the internet revealed that lots of products were available. Things like Class O paint, which is anti-graffiti paint, we were told was not available in matte. It is readily available in matte. We were told it wasn't available in white. It was readily available in white. So now we have white matte anti-graffiti paint. So it looks very good. The colours, we were accommodated on the colours of the doors, that was fine. Those are grey, and it looks as if the carpeting is going to be okay. That's not yet been done, but
we're not be done in the next 2 months.
Okay, that's fine. We're not really expecting any problem on that. That's okay. We did have a bit of a problem with the lighting, because the lighting was changed to LED lighting, and unfortunately they were a rather high number of degrees Kelvin colour spectrum. I thought they were towards the 10,000 degrees Kelvin, but I was told they were about 5,000 degrees Kelvin. But the better, far more comfortable colour spectrum is below 3,000 degrees Kelvin.
But we are going to replace them.
You are now, as a result of our action, which was a bit difficult at the time and stressful, but you have taken note, and that is about to take place. The other was the security on self-closing doors, where with the self-closing doors there's no possibility really of pulling the doors closed behind you should there be an external threat following you in, like antisocial behaviour going on, or say dogs on the loose or something like that. And without a handle you can't actually keep the door closed. So we have had we haven't necessarily resolved that, have we? Or?
No, we haven't resolved that yet, but we are looking into what we could do about whether we could put a handle in it.
There have been, there's certainly been one occasion since the work's been done when undesirable persons who were not authorised wanted to gain access to one of the doors, and it was very difficult for a resident to keep them out. So that's why we were looking for some additional security, at least in the form of a handle, to hold the door in position and prevent others opening it.
Well, I've got FMS, so it means I'm very ill, iller than I look, and I was dreading it. I thought, oh my God, it's going to drive me mad, the noise, I can't cope with. But I've got to say, I went through, it wasn't easy, it was not easy, but it was better than I thought, because I think the Apollo team, Mark and all his workmen were absolutely fantastic. They were so understanding, as well as it was the liaison officer, Colin, he was so understanding, so patient. They really had a lot of, genuine concern. They helped wherever they could, and they did what they could, and I've got to give them a star for that, because if they hadn't been so nice, I don't think I could have coped with it.
I grew up here, so I've lived here for over 25 years, telling you my age now. And I work in the area as well. It's a great place to live. It's such location-wise, it's great. I have to say it's really overcrowded. It could do with a lot more services, especially for young people, older people. A lot of intergeneration projects, things like that, really. And we certainly do need a lot more regeneration and community activities. I'm a leaseholder. I've had a problem with a flat roof which needed repairing, and that took over 6 months to repair, just because of, because I had to do an insurance claim, and so there was a lot of letter writing and stage 1 and stage 2 complaints, and then by the time the repair team came out, the extent of the damage to my property was worsened. But finally I did get it sorted. It took over 8 months, which I think is quite long. I think the staff are constantly changing. I've noticed that, you know, especially City West Homes have just gone through another reshuffle of staff, so there are a lot of new people who need to be trained up. In terms of the existing staff, the older staff certainly know what they're doing, but I know the workload is vast, so I don't think they can be as effective as they should, just because they're not able to give as much time to each resident, just because their workload is quite high. I'm not aware of what City West Homes currently provide for families. If there are any, then it's obviously not advertised properly. It's not communicated effectively. Like I said, I've lived here all my life, and I do get the City West Homes magazines, but again, you know, I think there are other ways that you can communicate this. City West Homes can do a lot more in terms of resident engagement, which I think City West Homes are not doing at the moment. Just to build that relationship between, you know, you're not just a provider of a service to residents. You can really get to know your residents by putting on fairs and, you know, fun family activities. Really, you don't have to spend so much money to do those kind of activities. In terms of engaging with the BME community, I think City West Homes really need to work a little bit harder on that. Sometimes I honestly do feel it's like a tick box exercise. We need resident engagement. So yeah, we've got a handful of residents. We can just go and contact those particular residents and get involved. But there are a wider community out there that can voice, you know, what needs to be done, how services can be provided and run. And I don't think City West Homes are actually engaging to those residents. If City West Homes can fix all those things, then I think you'll be a very good state management service.
I've been born and bred in Westminster. I started off in Stanfield House, moved to Fulmer House with my parents, then went into Verney House. I had 2 children, and I was moved because of the overcrowded, and moved into Capland House. From there I had quite a lot of grief with the people underneath me, but wasn't able to get a straightforward 3-bedroom exchange. Therefore, because my partner had a 1-bedroom flat and I had the 3-bedroom, we was able to move and give up our flats together to obtain this flat we have now, which is a 3-bedroom.
Nobody should have to. Everybody's entitled to a quality of life, and I do feel at that particular time with Pamela that it was totally unacceptable. And I'll be perfectly honest, for some reason she didn't seem to get a lot of cooperation. Is it Charwell House? Yeah. You know, we even had an independent witness, Mr. MacDonald, who went round and knocked on this chap's door one Saturday and asked him if he'd stop playing his loud music. And that same day, early hours of the morning, he went crazy, banging hammers on ceilings, and they still wouldn't do nothing about it. And then Mr. Lyons, Pam said to Mr. Lyons, if I gave my property up and Pam offered hers, he said he'd mention it to Plimpton Street, which he did, and they said, well, we don't normally do this. But in this situation, they allowed it, and as I say, Pam's quality of life with the children is 100% better, and her health, stress-wise, is a lot better. Can you imagine what it's going to bed at night and someone's banging hammers on your ceiling? Don't keep nudging me, I'm telling these people what I think. Don't let them know it's all good, because it ain't all good.
No, we want your honest opinions.
That's my honest opinion. Nobody, even if they're a licensee or a social tenant, if that's what they're called these days, has the right to annoy anybody. But because he was a licensee, it was very leasey, I should say, it was a difficult situation. And he did say that he would get her out of that flat, and eventually he did. I think they do a reasonable job. It's very difficult to say they do an excellent job, because there's so many. I feel that city homes in this particular area, I always feel as though we're very overcrowded, and there's just not enough room for everybody to go around, and it creates problems. And also, Lisson Green Estate, I'm very happy to live on the side I'm on, because I couldn't live in the middle of it because of all the gang culture that's over there. And as you know, there's been terrible crimes committed on Lisson Green Estate, which has improved. But the police are still coming in almost every other week looking for drugs and weapons, which is not a very nice thing to do. But they do the best they can. and City Homes do the best they can. But until you can get the gangs that are hanging around, I'm not saying they're doing any harm. Everybody's entitled to stand and talk to their friends, but it gets a little bit more involved in that occasionally. But apart from that, in general, they're pretty good. Well, I think a good idea would be, I did know most of the city guardian angels and the special constable, they've all lost their jobs. There's nobody patrolling the streets anymore, and I felt at that time that you see people see these people walking the streets, and I do believe it prevents a lot of crime. I don't understand why they all lost their jobs, because it's created an area where there is a lot of crime, a lot of begging on the street, especially in the Edgware Road area. 2 weeks ago there was adults fighting in Church Street one morning, which is quite an uneasy thing for elderly people and children, even for anybody to be amongst. You know, but there was nobody there to stop it until the police came. Whereas in the past, with the guardian angels, they might have prevented it. No, Lisson Green Estate office is very good. Yes. It'd be nice if when you went in there they offered you tea and biscuits. No, it's all right. You better take that away from me.
And finally, it's back to the streets of Westminster as we join our roving reporters with the last instalment of Comments from the Community. Over to you, Ricardo.
Thanks, Leon. And we're back here in Lisson Green to find out what the residents think of City West Homes. We've got Miss Pilar here with us today. Thank you very much for joining us, madam. Could you please tell us what you think of City West Homes? Anything that you're happy or unhappy with, or any services that you feel City West Homes could improve on?
With about my experience, I'm very happy with the City Home. Very, very nice, and it's lovely. I never have a problem in my flat, and I never had to report anything unpleasant. It's always been fantastic. What is called this?
Estate office.
Estate office is always very welcome, and very seldom I have to with any complaint. I don't think I remember anyone. And it's always fantastic if it's been a mistake somewhere. It's always been repaired quickly, and no problems at all.
I think it would be nice if City West Homes could implement more residents meetings or residents associations, or get the TARA to have more meetings, say on a weekly basis, not just with them, but like with all of them, say once a month or once every 6 weeks or every couple of months, just to update people on things or give out information, and for the residents on the estate to have any say that they'd like to say about things. That would be nice if we could have the meetings more often, other than what they are at the moment.
I think they do most things well. Repairs could be a little bit more coordinated. I recently had to have a repair done, and it was an absolute nightmare. And then saying that, when it got done, it was done well. Apart from that, I think, things are fine. I think the only thing I would like to see, I'd like us to take the street cleaning back from Westminster, back in-house. This estate used to be spotless. Now, it's absolutely awful, and it's no wonder that people think that people who live on large estates like to live in pigsties. Because it never used to be like that. It wasn't like that until Westminster took over the streets. I find it very hard to get action from Westminster. Been waiting for 6 months for the loose covers, the service covers in the roads, to be corrected, where they keep people awake all night. Whereas the last time it happened, it was City West Homes, and it was done within a few weeks.
Well, the area that I grew up in, there's been a lot of development and improvement from the parks, greenery, even improvements to the actual buildings themselves. There's constant police and security there. So overall, it's very good. Yeah, no problems with it.
Are you happy with your estate office, the staff that you deal with? Council staff?
Yes, I am. Yeah, they're very, very genuine people that actually want to help you. They take a lot of their time and effort to, pretty much resolve any issues that you have. So yeah, very satisfied.